Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and we had a little hiatus here for about a week or two with the summer camp. You know, they had the summer camp here at the MCAT studio, and Wake Up Missoula took a week off, so I just took the week off and haven't been doing any cafes.
Yeah, I thought it was a whole month because I haven't been on for the whole month. I haven't.
Well,
been...
maybe a month for you, but I mean, I did like one or two shows, and I just decided to stop.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So
fascinating.
we're back. This is this is season 9, episode 3. And you and I are going to do a one-on-one.
Wonderful.
And you can see we have our new set. It's the Space Needle in Washington.
That would be Seattle, Washington?
Seattle, Washington.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we just started this set here, so...
It's like a cafe. We're looking at Space Needle. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set.
It is.
And I just wanted to start this off. And let me make a quick note to myself so I know when to stop. Around 2:30ish.
All right. That is my power watch from my home planet of Avon. Now, it's so powerful, if it's only attuned to my body chemistry, that if you were to wear it, it would blow up the entire universe. But I allow you to touch it. I've kind of deactivated kind of the setting because I know I can trust you. If someone else were to try and fire lasers, it would destroy the entire universe.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to go to lunch somewhere. But anyway, yeah, you can handle it.
Yeah, that's okay. No, we'll elaborate on that. But to finish these acknowledgments, I am Asaph Adonai, and affectionately we have our aging rocker Emmett. We're going to do a one-on-one. We're going to talk about Hanna-Barbera today.
Fascinating.
Hanna-Barbera studio. We're going to talk about all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Snagglepuss, Augie Doggy, Huckleberry Hound.
Wonderful.
Johnny Quest.
Yep.
The Flintstones,
Yep.
Jetsons.
Yep.
And of course, the reason I wanted to talk about these cartoons is because I did a story on Wake Up Missoula yesterday on Secret Squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Secret Squirrel?
No, I never saw it.
His motto was Agent 000, sometimes known as Nothing, Nothing, Nothing.
Fascinating.
And it was a parody of James Bond.
I love
Secret
it.
Squirrel. And when he would get his assignment,
Mm-hmm.
this paper plane would go out of this window up on the top floor, and it would spin around till it got to his car. And he had a sidekick named Morocco Mo, a little short fella, based on Peter Lorre, the actor in the 1940s that did the Mr. Moto series.
Oh, interesting. Never heard of that one. Fascinating.
Yeah, like Charlie Chan movies. And so Secret Squirrel would get his assignment, and he would look at the camera and talk to the audience too, and then go back into character. And the name of their headquarters is Sneaky International Headquarters. And the bad guy was Yellow Pinky, who was like Goldfinger in the James Bond movie. So anyway, that's what we want to talk about. I want to cover all of that. But
first, we must pray.
Yes.
Heavenly Father, bless our time and our food and everything in Jesus' name.
And on that note, let's do a tune. I'm going to start out. Let's play the theme of Goldfinger. Did you see the movie?
Yes, I did. It's very good. I liked it. One of the first. Wasn't that the? No, was that the first James Bond movie, or was that Dr. No?
Dr.
I can't
No.
remember. I thought so. Yeah. Yeah, I liked Goldfinger. My favorite, of course, was what was my favorite? Good gravy. Moonraker, because that was like Star Wars. That was my favorite James Bond. Was Moonraker. That was the first one I ever saw too. You know, I loved Moonraker.
Recognize it? This is the theme of Goldfinger.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the James Bond movies. Yeah.
Okay, we'll
They're
talk
a lot
about
of fun.
Well, I'm gonna do.
But yeah, as a kid, I saw a lot of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. You know. Oh, was it Saturday morning or something? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you know the song? You recognize it?
Don't. Beautiful.
That was how Goldfinger started with this melody.
Fascinating.
That's the theme to Goldfinger. From
Oh, fascinating.
My version of it,
Yep.
anyway. But no, the first Bond film was Doctor No.
I thought so. I've seen that one too. Yeah.
That was an interesting one. They had some interesting characters on there, like Jack Lord, the actor. He went on to play McGarrett on Hawaii Five-O, on the original Hawaii Five-O, and a very young Sean Connery too. Pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the name of the second Bond film was, but Goldfinger was the third Bond film.
Yep.
I'm gonna stop there. I missed a note. Let me do it again. Clean that up a little bit.
That's Bethany. Yep.
Such a beautiful song.
Yep. Machine. I want to splash in a coffee cup and live in a washing machine.
But anyway, getting back to the Bond films, Goldfinger was the third one, the third installment, and Secret Squirrel is based on the Goldfinger.
Yep.
Well, primarily based on the Goldfinger, but it has the other spy gadgets too. And Yellow Pinky was the Goldfinger character in the Secret Squirrel
Interesting.
cartoon. And Morocco Mole was the driver, and you're not allowed to speak to the driver.
Yeah.
But he was a little short guy, just like Peter Lorre, the actor, who was a very popular actor in his time. He did the Mr. Moto murder mystery series, and just some other characters throughout his career. But yeah, Secret Squirrel is one of the more fun Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters. Now, have you ever been to the Hanna-Barbera studio in California?
No, I'd love to. If I were ever to go to California, that's where I'd love to go.
Well, it's a Universal Studios tour, is what if I remember that right. And at that time, you know, when I was there in real life. They didn't have the computer stuff, how they do the cartoons today. So they took me on this corridor at the studio, and they had all these portrait pictures of the famous cartoons that the studio did, like the Jetsons, the Flintstones, Snagglepuss, Huckleberry Hound. Oh my goodness, just a ton of them. Animan, Johnny Quest, just all kinds of cartoons that Hanna-Barbera studio did. And then they probably did a lot more that I can't think of right now. They did the Banana Splits. I don't know if you remember that.
I've heard of them, but I never saw them.
It had a melody that went something like this. You remember that?
Nope.
Well, anyway, that was the thing to the Banana Splits. And the Banana Splits, they weren't like puppets. They were life-size actors in like puppet costumes, if I had to describe the Banana Splits. And they just, you know, like played with children in real life on camera and, you know, stuff like that. There was Danger Island was another one of Hanna-Barbera's kind of more intense. And getting back to Johnny Quest, that was an interesting...
I loved the old Johnny Quest.
Yeah, I'm talking about the original Johnny Quest.
They made a new one that I didn't care
not
for
the
much,
new
but
one.
the old one was fantastic.
They had Haji, the Indian boy, his dog Bandit, Johnny Quest, Race Bannon, and you know, they were always beating up bad guys.
I know.
I should say Race was, and then of course Johnny's father, I can't think of his name. He was the red hair fella that that did all the solving and the scientific work, and Race Bannon was the blonde hair fella that just could beat up anybody.
Yeah, I remember those cartoons. I don't remember everybody, but they were great. They were fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, everybody. When I was a kid, you watched Johnny Quest.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna play Night and Day when we talk about Hanna-Barbera.
Oh yeah, you can't not mention Johnny Quest. Wasn't it about? I couldn't follow the plot. I just loved the science fiction. Kind of a boy and a family. He was homeschooled, but they went on adventures because they were in government.
Yeah. That was Johnny Quest. They always had these little harrowing adventures, you know.
Yes. And tried to solve mysteries or strange things that was going on, or secret bad guys trying to rule the world.
they'd been on an island or something.
Yeah.
You know? Night and Day while we talk about Johnny Quest.
Yes. Yeah, I love Johnny Quest. I love the science fiction aspects. They even did stuff with lasers and robots and alien creatures and very strange things. I really thought it was imaginative, you know.
First time, yeah, I agree. And I watched Johnny Quest every day when I was a boy growing up.
They only had it Saturday morning, but I watched it every Saturday morning, you know.
Yeah, but eventually where I'm from, they had it on all the time after a while.
Good. They even, if I remember correctly, had a few Johnny Quest books for kids.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, because I remember seeing one in school, and I always read it. It was just in the school, just in the classroom library.
Yeah,
when I was about 4th grade, and just it was in Catholic, you know, with 4th grade class.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Hey, I like this. I can't remember what it was about, but interesting.
Yeah, Johnny Quest.
Yep.
And here's a song I'm going to play for you that was part of the Hanna-Barbera. See if you recognize it. Don't recognize it?
Nope.
This is the thing, the Mighty Mouse.
Oh, I never watched Mighty Mouse. Yeah, one of the ones I didn't watch. Mostly, I guess I liked the science fiction stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, that was all by Hanna-Barbera. Mighty Mouse. See, to talk about Secret Squirrel, you know how, like, when you watch a regular television show and then they have a spin-off?
Yes.
Well, Secret Squirrel technically is a spin-off from Adam Ant.
Oh.
It was called the Adam Ant Secret Squirrel Show. See, Adam Ant was the main character. He's like this little ant that's like really strong. And then Secret Squirrel was so popular from Adam Ant that in 1966 they made the Secret Squirrel series, cartoon series. And that's interesting because normally when you have spin-off shows, they're regular shows. But this was a cartoon that was spin-off. And that's what made it interesting, see?
Yeah.
And so, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse is not really Hanna-Barbera, I don't think. But Adam Ant is. And they're kind of similar. Adam Ant was like this tiny ant. He had like this little helmet and his little antlers stuck out of his helmet. And he's like really strong. Whereas Mighty Mouse was a mouse that had this broad chest. That, you know, well, anyway.
Amazing.
Yeah, but as I stated, I think Adam Ant was from Hanna-Barbera. I think Mighty Mouse is from another cartoon company, but both Mighty Mouse and Adam Ant were pretty similar. They were small and they were very strong.
Interesting.
And when I was at the Hanna-Barbera studio seeing all these, they had like portraits, like life-size portraits, like, you know, big portraits, professionally drawn of the cartoon characters. And gosh, there was just so many. Yogi Bear also, and was part of Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, I never watched Yogi Bear either. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a melody that went something like this. If I can figure it out. Something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm just picking it out, but it was something like that. It was a theme to Yogi Bear. Let me try it again.
Now, this isn't exactly Hanna-Barbera territory, but you and I love Gilligan's Island. We remember we've talked about Gilligan's Island. We both love it. They did a cartoon spin-off, and I think, good gravy, was it the 80s? I think 85, 86. Called Gilligan's Planet. That was absolutely terrible.
I didn't see that, but if you want to talk about Gilligan's
Island,
you know, on the original series, they were trapped on that island for 15 years in the series. But what's interesting is that 15 years went by in real life before they did the Gilligan's Island reunion.
Yes.
So when they did the Gilligan's Island reunion, it was believable because the actors were literally 15 years older.
Exactly.
And they got off that island when they did the return.
Yes.
And they all went back to civilization.
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
They didn't like how civilization had became. It changed from the time they took that 3-hour tour. So they eventually went back to Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, they did.
To get away from civilization. And when I found that interesting, and then they went on to make these houses and little hotels, and people start going to Gilligan's Island. It was just interesting.
To me, Gilligan's Planet was where they went into outer space, and this whole cast of the Castaways, the original, it was cartoon, went to a planet, and they got stranded on another planet. But it just didn't work. It wasn't funny. It was terribly animated. It didn't make any sense to me. It went for 1 year mercifully. Gilligan's Planet.
Well, I don't know that. I never heard of that, and I didn't see that.
I thought it would be a great premise, but it was terrible. It was just whatever it
just
was.
because a show is good doesn't necessarily mean that a spin-off or
that's
some
true.
idea will be.
I know.
But I did like Gilligan's Island. That was a fun
I loved
show to
Gilligan's
watch.
Island. I loved that.
And are you familiar with MeTV?
Yes, I watch it a lot. Yeah, I
memorable
watch it a lot. Like I watch Star Trek and I watch Superman and they have a lot of stuff I don't care for, like
I know.
Chips or.
I know. I'm not particular into chips either, but they started the entire Lost in Space series on MeTV about 3 weeks ago with a Jupiter 2 launched off. They started that series from the very beginning. So when you watch Lost in Space on MeTV, they're all black and white right now.
Cool.
All of them, black and white.
You mean they have a marathon that's going on like it's on?
No, it's not a marathon. Just every week. Just every week. They started the entire series of Lost in Space over. So you get to watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, often I'm in bed by that time. I go to bed pretty
11
early.
o'clock, I know. And I've been taping like the first few
episodes.
Oh,
cool. I wish my VCR worked so I could tape things again.
Yeah, let's see if I can figure out Lost in Space.
Yeah.
It goes something like this.
Yep, that's it. Hanna-Barbera made one cartoon that I thought was awful, and I don't know why. It was called The Impossibles.
I don't know that.
I saw it on Cartoon Network when Cartoon Network had just begun. It was the stupidest idea for superheroes. I can't even remember, but they would jump on springs or do whatever, and it was so dumb. I mean, even a person I knew, we would ask each other, who and
you're not talking about The Incredibles, are you? The Incredibles are different. They were the superhuman family that could do they had all the powers. Like the father of The Incredibles, his broad shoulder, super strength, and he was married to Elastigirl. She could stretch.
I don't think so.
You said Impossible. No, the Incredibles. That was a good superhero family cartoon. See, basically, it starts out. Mr. Incredible is young, when he starts out when he's young, and he meets Elastigirl, and she's like really good looking because she was younger and she can stretch, and she like knocks out bad guys because she could stretch so far, kind of like the Fantastic Four. That guy that could stretch, and so Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl get married, right? But before they get married, there's this little boy who's a fan of Mr. Incredible. His name is Buddy. And so Buddy's a little boy, he wants to follow Mr. Incredible and be a superhero, and Mr. Incredible says no, rejects the little boy, right? So the little boy grows up with that anger and that resentment. So he becomes the bad guy. He says he's going to go after Mr. Incredible for not accepting him as a little boy. So Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl get married, they have children, and their children have special powers too. And right when those kids were like in grade school, like around junior high, that's when Buddy, who's now an adult, goes on a rampage, and he starts attacking the city and demolishing things, and he calls himself Simba, something like that, similar to Lion King, Simba, something like that. And he stages this assignment for Mr. Incredible to go on. And when Mr. Incredible goes on the assignment, Buddy tries to kill him. It's like a spy mystery, like James Bond.
Yeah.
And it's just a pretty cool.
Were they like 10 minutes or 5 minutes each?
This show is about 2 hours long, The Incredibles.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie. It's a cartoon movie.
Oh, it wasn't the same. Because this was only 10 minutes. And
this is an entire movie. It's kind of new.
Oh, okay. Did one of the characters bounce up and down on a spring, boing, boing.
No,
and
no,
it-
no,
okay,
no, no,
yeah,
no.
it was the Impossibles or the Impossibilities or something.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
the title sounds similar, but no, this was The Incredibles, and you should see it. I would
Yeah.
highly recommend it. It's such a fun.
Yeah, interesting.
I think that's by Disney. It's a fun cartoon.
Interesting.
Very fun.
Did they ever fight someone named Laser Beam Man?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
okay,
This
okay.
was just the first cartoon.
All
And then,
right.
Mr. Incredible, his best friend was Frozone.
Don't know. Yes, it's different.
Frozone like he could throw ice out
Okay.
of his hands and slide through real quick because he could he was like made of ice, his character, and it was just a
Yeah.
fun show.
The Impossibles were from the 50s or 60s.
No,
Or just
this
one
was
of-
brand new.
okay,
This was
okay.
this was like maybe less than 10 years.
Okay,
ago.
different, yeah.
Yes.
The Impossibles, I didn't understand. It was so dumb. It was just who and why. It was just torture to watch. And normally Hanna-Barbera stands for quality. Not that, and Hong Kong Phooey I didn't like
Oh
either.
yeah. I read
Oh,
that.
Hong Kong Phooey, we can do without that.
Oh yeah, I could live without that cartoon.
Oh man, whatever that was, and it wasn't. I've taken the martial arts, and it wasn't even good martial arts. It was just what a
know.
dumb premise. I mean, oh boy, oh, you know, if you want torture, Google up Hong Kong Phooey or The Impossibles. You'll see torture. Normally, I love Hanna-Barbera though, and it's like
Well, I don't know The Impossibles. I don't know that one.
I think it was called The Impossibles or The Impossibilities. I'm not sure. Oh boy.
Another one I didn't care for was Captain Caveman. You remember that?
Oh, that was horrible! I saw that on Cartoon Network. It was horrible. Oh my word, that was one of the. Oh, that was torture too.
I know, I remember it.
That was pure, Captain Caveman, and just a very, very long hair. Just oh my word, whatever that was, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember Captain Caveman. Yeah.
Yeah, My Tour, kinda in between My Tour. Did you ever see My Tour?
I don't
He
know
was
that
kind
one.
of it was a tribe somewhere, and he had this club and turned himself into a superhero. I think it was Hanna-Barbera, I'm not sure, but
I don't know that
The
one.
little kid always played My Tour, just kinda nice, just
No, I don't know that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play while you're talking.
yes. Let's see, didn't Hanna-Barbera do some live-action stuff like Land of the Lost?
I don't know. That
Land
I
of the
don't know.
Lost, do you remember Land of the Lost from
Yes,
the
I do.
70s? Yeah, wasn't that, I don't know if that was Hanna-Barbera.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, it might not have been. No, that was Marty and Croft. Sorry, it wasn't Hanna-Barbera.
Oh yeah, I
Sorry.
remember. They were pretty good too.
Yeah,
Marty
yeah,
Krofft.
that was it. Yeah,
My favorite was H.R. Puffin stuff.
I remember that too. Oh yeah.
Marty and Krofft. I remember them.
Now I remember. Yeah, that was. I'm kind of getting them all confused, but yeah,
That's okay.
yeah. Land of the Lost is on Meat TV on Saturday morning, but it's 6:30 or 7:30 in the morning. I'm not up by then.
Yeah, neither am I. But
Yeah.
getting back to Marty and Krofft, yeah, my favorite was H.R. Puffin stuff.
Yeah,
and it
that was
had a
interesting.
melody that went something like this.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm sorry. Let me try it again. You remember that? Well, anyway,
No.
that was the thing, the H.R. Puffin stuff, but
The first part of that almost sounded like part of Haydn's Surprise Symphony.
it is.
I
It
thought
is.
so.
That's
Yeah, I have
where
that.
they
Yeah.
got that from. If you do Haydn's Surprise Symphony,
Yeah, which
I'm
I
glad you
have, yeah.
caught that. 'Cause most people don't catch that.
I love Haydn. I love
All right, the
Haydn.
Haydn Symphony goes like this.
Yeah.
See?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll play it for you.
Yeah, I love that. I have it on record. A few other Haydn's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I'll play it for you.
Yep.
the
Beautiful, yeah.
But H.R. Puffin stuff. All they did was speeded it up.
Yeah,
So
they did. Yeah.
Part of the Haydn.
Didn't they live near a cave, near a cove?
No,
in the beach?
okay.
Or
The
am I thinking
premise of
somebody
H.R.
else?
No, H.R. Puffin stuff. There was a little boy named Jimmy who had a magic flute,
Uh-huh.
a golden magic flute that could talk.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this witch that wanted that flute. So what she did, her name was I can't remember the witch's name, but anyway, she sends a little talking boat to entice the boy to get on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Come with
Wow.
me, Jimmy, and play with me, the boat says.
Mhm.
And the little boy and his flute get on they get on the boat, and then the boat starts taking them out
Wow.
to sea, like Gilligan's Island. The boy gets trapped in that boat, and H.R. Puffin stuff is the mayor of the city, who's always watching that witch to try to keep that witch away from the city where H.R. Puffin stuff lives and protect people from that witch. So H.R. Puffin stuff sees his little boy in trouble, and so H.R. Puffin stuff, who is the mayor, and his crew, they go out there to the waters and they save that boy from that nasty, wicked witch. They save him, and then they take the little boy in because they can't get him home, and they protect the
Interesting.
boy. Yeah, and that was the premise of H.R. Puffin stuff. And also, the home where H.R. Puffin stuff lives, the witch's power can't penetrate that. When you're inside H.R. Puffin stuff's house, you're shielded and protected. So that's the little boy slept there too, and it was just such a cool show. That was the premise of H.R. Puffin stuff.
Because I remember
Jimmy
after
and his magic flute,
Land of the Lost, Robbery and Croft, whatever it was,
Marty and Croft.
Marty and Croft.
Yeah.
Made another show, live action, about monsters and creatures that lived in a cave by the sea.
Well, I think another thing Marty and Croft did, I think they did the
And I don't remember the name of
the
it.
Christmas ones, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I
Don't
think
remember
that was
those.
them.
Huh.
You know the one that they show every year?
Oh yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah.
And
And
I
the
think
stop-action Santa Claus. Yeah.
I think that they're responsible. No, I'm sorry. That's Rankin and Bass. Rankin and Bass, the cartoon company. They're the ones that did the Rudolph and Frosty. And speaking of Frosty, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you remember the original Frosty the Snowman?
I've never seen it actually.
Well, when I was a little boy, they used to show like the Charlie Brown cartoons.
Oh, I loved those. Yeah.
And of course, speaking of Charlie Brown, they had like the seasonal ones. They had
Oh yeah, they did.
the
They're very good.
Thanksgiving one. They had the Christmas one. They had the New Year's one. But
They
the
were very good.
Christmas one wound up being the best one
It
because
was.
it had the biblical account
Yeah, it was fantastic.
in the book of Luke when Charlie Brown says, "Does anybody know what Christmas is about?"
Yeah.
And
I loved
Linus
it.
says, "I can tell you what Christmas is about," and he takes the Bible
That
and
was
he reads
wonderful.
the
Yeah.
account in Luke 2. And Charles Schultz was advised when they were putting that together not to do that, but he stood his ground and decided to put the biblical account in because it's not really about Santa Claus. It's
Exactly.
about Christ
Yeah.
coming to the earth to eventually die on the cross for our sins and make it possible for us to be forgiven and go
Yes.
to heaven. So Charles Schultz put that biblical account in there, and it wound up being the best Charlie Brown cartoon to this day. It has won more awards and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But all those cartoons from whatever studio, whatever, they were just fun. And when I was a little boy, they were so fun to watch.
They were.
It was, every year on regular television they would put like The Grinch Stole Christmas. They would put Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and of course the Charlie Brown one. And it was just such a blast.
Yeah, they made one too, A Christmas Without Santa Claus, where Santa Claus got sick and he had to cancel Christmas.
Well, that's
I don't
the
remember
new
that
one.
one.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I know of it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I thought that was made in the '60s or so because
No,
it
I
had
don't
the
think
stop
so.
action.
I don't think so. I think around the 80s or 90s they started making some new.
Because I
new
thought that was the
cartoons.
'60s. That's odd.
No,
it
that
wasn't.
was- you can
Maybe
tell
I'm
by
thinking
the
of something
drawings.
else. Yeah.
No, you're on track. I know of it, and it was just some newer versions.
Okay, because I know they had one with stop motion, Mr. Freeze, and something about he's Mr. Sun, and they were trying to battle Santa Claus or some confusing thing. Or am I thinking of something else? Am I thinking of Easter? I can't remember. He's Mr. Freeze, or he's Mr. Sun, he's Mr. Sun, or something, and they were fighting to prevent Santa Claus from delivering toys, something. It's way back in my childhood, I can't remember,
Yeah, no, you're close. They made some new cartoons.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
interesting.
Let's see if you know this one.
They even made the glowworms save Christmas. Did you see that in the 80s? Remember the glowworms, folks?
Yeah, I
It was
do.
a glowworms cartoon. They made the glowworms save Christmas, and they saved Santa Claus. That was from the 80s. That was a new one. We glow, and they started singing We Glow. They showed it the day after Thanksgiving. It was funny. I was with friends of the family, and I was babysitting, and we had the glowworms saved Christmas. I love it.
I don't know if you know that song. That's called I'll Survive.
Oh yeah, I'll survive. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little version there. So anyway, getting back to those cartoons. Yeah, when I was a little boy, they actually came on regular television like once a year.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
it
did.
was always something to look forward to.
It was,
To
yeah.
see these cartoons when I was like maybe 8, something like that.
Yeah, they were
And,
really great.
They were all fun, but Charlie Brown I think is the best one.
Yeah.
And I think how the Grinch That Stole Christmas is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, it was alright. I saw it once. I
You
didn't
know.
care for it.
I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, I
The
know.
original Grinch, and what I liked about that cartoon, it had a really happy ending.
Yeah.
See, basically, the Grinch just lives north of Whoville, and he lives like in this little cave, and he just would always look down at Whoville, not liking Christmas. And the narrator said, we don't know why. Maybe his shoes were too tight, but I think the biggest reason was maybe his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so he decides he's going to stop Christmas, right? So he makes a fake Sandy Claus, they call
I
it,
remember,
Sandy
yeah.
Claus. And then he takes his dog Max and puts a little horn on its head.
Yeah.
They go into Whoville, and little Cindy Lou who was no more than 2,
Yep.
catches him.
Yep.
And she's looking at him. Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
Yes.
But that old Grinch, he was so slick and he thought of a lie and he thought it quick.
Yep.
My sweet little child, there's a light on this tree that won't light. So I'm taking it to the North Pole. I'll fix it there and then I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
And his bib fooled the little child.
Remember
So he
that.
got her a drink of water and sent her to bed. And then
I remember that.
Yeah, and then he steals all the tree, right? And he gets all the presents. You know, he steals everything from Whoville, right? And he thinks, okay, now they're gonna be crying because all their toys are gone, right? And this is what's cool. Whoville gets up in the morning, all their food and their presents are gone, right? But what do? They circle and they start singing songs. Religious songs like, you know, thankful songs, even though they didn't have no Christmas. And that made the Grinch realize that he hadn't stopped Christmas or anything. And I thought that was cool. That's a cool
That is,
message.
yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They were giving thanks. And so the Grinch, he sees the stuff that he stole about to fall off the edge of the cliff, right? So he gets his superhuman strength because all of a sudden he got changed. And he
Yeah.
grabs and saves the president and he brings him back. And guess what?
Yeah.
After he brings all the stuff back to Whoville, he gets to carve the roast beast. They called it roast beast.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool ending.
Wasn't that?
Because think
yeah.
about it. You know, if you don't have Christmas or toys and you're able to give thanks, that's a pretty cool message.
It is,
That's
absolutely.
a really cool message. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, wasn't that by the creator of
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. It was Dr. Seuss. Yeah, I
it was
thought
Dr.
so.
Seuss, yeah.
I thought so.
Dr. Seuss, Ted Geisel, who called himself Dr. Seuss,
Yeah.
who just celebrated his 113th birthday, I believe, a couple months back.
He's still alive?
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not.
I didn't
He died
think
a lot. Nobody lives that long unless you're like in the Old Testament.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, that's a pretty cool positive message if you think about it. The Grinch, and the Grinch, I think it's one of the most popular cartoons today. Maybe
Yeah.
not as popular as the Peanuts Christmas one, but I think it ranks up there. So let's have fun with the Grinch.
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a while. See, if you recognize.
Hanna-Barbera, did they do very good cartoons that I've forgotten? Like, oh, what was it? Space Ghost? Didn't they do Space Ghost or not?
They did. I didn't care for it.
I loved Space Ghost. I did. How about the Herculoids? Did you like the Herculoids?
Ah, a little bit.
I loved the Herculoids. Very good. I loved that.
Something like that. I
Did
missed the movies, but
Hanna-Barbera do a cartoon called Birdman?
I think they did.
I liked
I
Birdman.
think they did.
It was very cheesy.
Was Birdman, I'm not talking about the Super Friends, but wasn't Birdman part of the Super Friends eventually?
No, I don't think he was. This was an old cartoon from the 60s. It was only 10 minutes long. So Cartoon Network used to show all those science fiction cartoons from the 60s. Birdman...
I know of Birdman.
Was this bird that was kind of a secret agent that worked for the military. He had been somehow transformed by the sun, but he got his power from the sun. He was literally part man, part bird, and he had a friend named Falcon. He'd always go, okay, he would talk to some secret government agent, said, Birdman, we have some sort of emergency with Spectre or Fear. I think they call it Fear. An agent from Fear wants to build a new laser gun. You have to check this out. Oh, I will do it. Birdman! And, the crow would follow him. And then, if you took the power of the sun away from Birdman, he would die. And then someone from the evil other agent, like Russia, someone called Fear, would say, I have destroyed Birdman! It was so corny.
Well,
it was
I know
funny.
of Birdman.
I just loved
I'm not really
it.
as familiar with Birdman, but I used to watch
it was funny. It was
I used
fun.
to watch the Green Lantern. I'm talking about the original Green Lantern.
Never saw that one.
He had the power of his strength was in this ring. He had this ring, this like green colored ring. And he could fly.
Yeah.
And then there were the Flash. I'm talking about the original Flash.
I know. Would you like?
Not this new remake stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
didn't like
the
that.
original Flash. He could run around the Earth 8 times in 1 second.
Yep.
Real fast. And let's see, they had other.
The Fantastic Four, the original
yeah,
one.
the original. That was Hanna-Barbera.
I loved the original Fantastic Four. Fantastic.
And then there was let's see who else from the Hanna-Barbera studio. Yogi Bear. Oh my goodness. Just a bunch of them. But cartoons are fun.
Yeah, they are.
When I was in high school, when I was a sophomore in high school, I had to choose between music and cartooning because I was taking both. Well, when you're young and at home, you don't have to get a job and pay rent. You can focus on that, right? And I didn't think I was going to be able to make a living as a cartoonist. I used to be very good at it, and I would draw all these cartoon characters and things, and so I chose music. And I just gave up my art as a sophomore in high school. I just gave it up.
Yeah.
But I was pretty good at it.
That's cool, yeah.
And it was tempting to choose drawing because I remember my art teacher said you should consider one or the other.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do them both. So I wound up choosing music. And I often wonder what my life would have been like if I had chose cartooning.
Maybe you would draw science fiction cartoons.
I don't know. I mean, I was really good at it.
Yeah.
In fact, it got to the point. Here's how skilled I was, and I say this humbly. It got to the point where I could take a cardboard, not cardboard. You know the art paper that wraps in art paper, and you take a crayon, a thick yellow crayon, and you color the entire page until it's pasted and thick. Then you take black ink and you cover that, and then when that dries, you take a needle pen and you sketch it out. But you can't make any mistakes because if you make a mistake, there's no way to fix it because it's on dry black ink. And then when you sketch it out with the yellow on the inside, it looks white, and you see your images that you're going to draw. That's the level I had gotten in drawing and art. I also used to do what was called paper mache. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah,
They would take like metal, and you would twist metal, and then take these paper strips and paste it around and to form what you want. And I made the Jupiter 2.
Oh, cool.
That was way cool. I mean, my Jupiter 2 was probably about this big, and by the time I painted it and did all this stuff, it looked just like the Jupiter 2 on Lost in Space. And I kept that for years until it finally deteriorated because it was just made of paper. So that gives you an idea. And I don't know if I would have been able to make a living as a cartoonist.
Yeah.
As I look back at my life, but I often wonder, where would I be if I had chose cartooning?
Yeah.
Instead of music. Would my cartoons have been in the paper? Like Doonesbury, Charlie Brown, Dennis the Menace, or would I have got a job in a studio like Hanna-Barbera or something? I don't know. I'll never know because I didn't go that route.
Yeah.
But I feel blessed, because
Yeah.
I've had a fun life.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm not a household name like, say, Liberace or Roger Williams, but I think about it.
Yeah.
I got my first job in music when I was 21. My
Yeah.
very first job. And I've been doing it ever since. I played for the Salvation Army for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Got nominated for the California Jefferson
Mhm.
Award. Played in Vegas
Mm-hmm.
when I was 26. I mean, my goodness,
Mhm.
I did a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of memories. A lot of memories.
Yep.
And I'm just touching on the surface. And of course,
Mhm.
my autobiography is out now and stuff. And now I live here in Missoula.
Yeah.
And just having fun. But yeah, when I was a sophomore in high school, I had to choose between music and art, and I chose music.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say I gave it up, I totally gave it up. I
Yeah.
didn't even practice it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was then.
Yeah. I must say though, the Cartoon Network started out very strong with old science fiction cartoons
Oh,
and
yeah.
other stuff. Now it's really gone down the tubes, I think. It has these
believe
new
that.
cartoons that I can't get into, and I never liked Dexter's Laboratory. or
Well,
some
I
of the
don't
other
like,
stuff.
I don't particularly care for any of those new cartoons like Family Guy.
Yeah,
Dexter,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
that it's just junk as far
It
as
is,
it's
it is.
almost like a waste of what do you call it? Film.
It is,
Waste of
it is.
film. And see, like, I know they're trying to hit the younger generation, but if the younger generation could have seen the better cartoons they
Yeah.
had, you can't beat Johnny Quest. There's
Yeah.
no way on this earth
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
beat Johnny Quest. If you sit down and watch that, or Yogi Bear and any of
Yeah.
those other fun ones, all the other fun cartoons that they had back then.
And even the animation, if you noticed on Cartoon Network, like with Dexter's Laboratory or something, is so bad. It is badly done animation.
Now,
the
there
others
is-
were beautiful.
There is an exception. Yeah, you're right. There's an exception to a modern cartoon like the one that it's these three little baby girls. They're like superheroes, but they have to be in bed by 8 o'clock.
The Powerpuff Girls.
That's it. I find that amusing.
I don't. I hated the Powerpuff Girls.
I know,
thought they
no,
were
seriously,
dumb.
I found that amusing. I mean, I made an exception with the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have an episode of that at home.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one episode where one of the girls had a birthday.
Uh-huh.
The bad guy was going to try to get all three of them on that girl's
Mhm.
birthday. And what was funny about that is they had to be home by 8 o'clock. They spend the whole day saving the world, but had to be home by 8 o'clock
Yeah.
at bedtime. I just thought that was cute. But really, I agree with you on, with the exception of Powerpuff Girls, all the other cartoons that are out there that are new, I think they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they are.
They really
I just
are.
don't watch them. Even
Yeah.
the new superheroes or the Green Lantern or the remakes
Yeah,
of the
all
others.
those remakes,
yeah.
they're just not very good as
No.
far as I'm concerned. But I didn't go into cartooning, so
Yeah.
I'll never really know. But the cartoons of the past,
Yeah.
they were well drawn, like Underdog,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Speed Racer.
Yeah. Speed
All-
Racer was okay, but yeah, done a lot better. Yeah.
Oh, the drawings were really good
Mhm,
though,
mhm.
and stuff. But yeah, Hanna-Barbera. I'm sure there are a lot more cartoons that Hanna-Barbera has done that I didn't mention on this show.
Oh, yeah.
because I can't think of them all. There's just
Yeah.
so many. But yeah, Adam Ant was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Mouse was fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try it again. I want to play that again. Theme of Mighty Mouse.
Since you don't have cable, I don't know if you've ever seen Sprout TV. It's for kindergartners
No, I haven't.
and toddlers. They've kind of, I think they're under new management. They've changed kind of their cartoons for more 7 to 8-year-olds to 9-year-olds. I'm kind of disappointed. They've taken off a lot of good stuff I used to like. But as far as Christmas movies, they always show Caillou's Holiday Special. Caillou, I think, was filmed in France, but then imported to Canada, then here.
Uh-huh.
About a 4-year-old kid who explores the world around him, and he goes to play school, and he has his friends, and learns about leaves, or learns about other things, and he always plays, a space adventures with his best friend Leo, and a lot of good fun stuff, and kind of educational, learn about the world around him. But he always has Caillou's holiday movie, and it's where Caillou can't wait for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So every night his father and mother tucks him into bed, and they have this, one of those Christmas calendars, kind of with a little candy in it, or one of those Christmas
Okay.
And each of them unfolds something, and they learn something new about Christmas, how Christmas is celebrated in the rest of the world. And then, of course, Caillou plays with his friend Leo, or does something, and it's kind of a musical, or maybe gets part in the Christmas play at school, or watches the Christmas parade, but he wants a space station for Christmas, and he gets one. And it's sweet. It's beautiful. It has a lot of happy music. I could sing it practically in my sleep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I love it. It's the sweetest, most nicest movie in the world. It's just like, what a happy Christmas memories for a kid. It's just like heaven on earth. Nice, sweet, you know.
Right.
I have some of it on tape, you know, just, well, I have the movie, but I have some of the singing on tape. It's so fun, you know.
But, you know, when I was growing up, cartoons were literally on regular television from
They were.
7 in the morning till about 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yep.
So we had a thing in our house where, because I have one brother and one sister, whoever got up first on a Saturday morning got control of the television to watch whatever cartoon they wanted to watch. Half the time we were in agreement, you know, like if my brother got up first, I'd end up liking the cartoons he watched. But there was once in a while, if I didn't wake up first, I couldn't necessarily watch a cartoon I wanted to watch. I had to watch what my brother or my sister, because they had woke up first. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Those were some fun times as far as those cartoons. And you know what? The whole hour is almost gone by.
Yes.
We've got about 5 more minutes left.
And sadly, they don't make
cartoons like they used to.
They don't, and not only that, they don't even make Saturday morning cartoons for ABC anymore.
No,
they
you
just
remember,
borrow
remember when Bugs Bunny used to come on, I think it was ABC?
Yes.
Saturday morning, they called the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour. And just the regular Bugs Bunny cartoons too. It was fun.
Yeah.
All those were fun.
Yeah, but all they do is borrow from Sprout TV and put it on Channel 11. They borrow some stuff like the Chica Show or some of the things from Sprout TV and just they don't even bother to make of television cartoons for children on ABC or CBS or NBC anymore, because all three networks would compete for the child slot Saturday.
I know. Now,
And they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, there are some cartoons that I think are very, very inappropriate for children.
Oh, there are.
I mean, some of the modern cartoons today.
Definitely. Like, how fast can you say South Park? It's not even for
South
kids.
Park, yeah. You know, if it were left up to me, I would just order that cartoon not ever appear on television again.
Absolutely. If I had that, absolutely. I've seen it a couple of times. It's so that offensive.
I'm not going to get into the topics of the cartoon, but they're pretty bad. And I wouldn't want my 10-year-old watching.
I wouldn't let him watch that. No way.
Either.
No way.
And I don't think much of The Simpsons either, and the Cleveland.
Yeah, I like The Simpsons, but that's more getting for adults. I think it's kind of.
I can deal with a few of those episodes, but overall, like that South Park and all the rest of those.
Oh, that's just so
I just think
wrong. That's
bad.
so wrong. Yeah.
But the cartoons of the past.
Absolutely.
They're very clean.
Exactly. That's what I liked about them. Yeah.
Good versus evil, with good always winning and triumphing over Johnny Quest or whatever. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But those were some fun times watching.
Yeah, they were.
And I enjoyed them all. Even the Star Trek cartoon. You remember? Did you?
I did.
The Star Trek
I liked
cartoon?
it. Not near as much as the old series, but I liked it. It was nice. You know,
yeah, but I mean the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was different. They had a Lassie cartoon called Lassie's Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had a Tarzan cartoon. Tarzan Lord of the Jungle was a cartoon. They had the original Spider-Man, which something like this.
Oh, I loved the original Spider-Man cartoon. Yeah. Yep.
Something like that.
That was very good. I liked it.
Yeah, and oh gosh, I can just think of a lot of other cartoons that were fun.
They
to
were.
watch. You know, the superheroes and stuff like that.
The Super Friends. Don't forget Challenge
Oh
of
yeah,
the
we
Super
can't
Friends.
forget the Super Friends. That was one of my favorites.
Definitely. Or even the old Super Friends from the
I'm
60s.
talking about
That was good. Yes, yes.
The first one, the original Super Friends, and I think it was. You all right? I think it was Superman, Batman, Robin, and Wonder Woman, and the Flash. I think
It was.
The original.
Yeah.
Way before all the other characters came, and it was just fun.
It was.
Just so fun to watch.
One time, for some reason, I have it on tape somewhere, Superman, for some reason, was guarding water coolers on top of a building. I don't remember why he was doing it.
I don't know that. Maybe.
But that was the old cartoon. And I don't remember the plot of why he had to
maybe
guard.
there was some kryptonite in there or something.
Or some bad guy wanted to get to them or something.
I don't know. But yeah, those were fun.
Yeah, they were.
And on that note, I'm going to sign off here in a little bit. We got about 5 minutes left. I am Asaph Adonai, and we're talking about the Hanna-Barbera Cartoon Studio and the cartoons and television shows of the past compared to today's cartoons. You know, I was going to say, you familiar with Carrot Top? The comedian? Has red hair in real life?
No.
Well, he used to host a cartoon show called the AM Mayhem cartoon. AM Mayhem, I think it was on the Cartoon Network or something. And that was a sweet gig because if I could host a cartoon show, I would love to do that. You know, like show cartoons for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
In the morning and just host it for children. But I just didn't know if you knew that or not.
No.
But anyway, getting back to the cartoons, Hanna-Barbera I think is probably the most recognizable.
Yes.
They've probably done more cartoons than Warner Brothers.
They have, yeah.
And, you know, the Rankin Bass and all the rest of them.
Yeah. Are they still alive anymore, Hanna and Barbera, or not?
Probably, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Probably not.
Yeah.
If they are, they'd be very up there in years.
Yes.
And stuff. And of course, if I were to get a tour of the Hanna-Barbera studio now, it would probably be changed because of the computer era. You got to remember, I was there about 30, 40 years ago, you know. So there was no laptops and things in those days.
Yeah.
But it was a cool studio. They gave me an extensive tour of the Hanna-Barbera studio, how they did the cartoons, how they did the drawings, how they, you know, the cartoons up on the walls and stuff. And it was fun, you know. But do you have a favorite cartoon?
I'm sure I do. I can't think of it right now. I know I loved the old Flash Gordon cartoons. I
remember those.
Oh, I loved them. I loved the Super Friends, but I also, of course, maybe the Transformers. I think the Transformers have got to be one of my favorites.
That was a fun one.
I loved the Transformers, the old one from the 80s. Fantastic.
Let me do it again.
Yeah. That's just fantastic. Yeah, I loved the Transformers.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
The Care Bears too, but that wasn't even the animated movies. Not even necessarily the series, but the Care Bears animated movies were so beautiful and caring. I just spent a half an hour crying my eyes out because it's beautifully done. It's very religious. It isn't about Jesus or heaven, but the symbols are very much there.
Well, you know, speaking of religious cartoons, real quick, there was a cartoon when I was a little boy called Jot. He was a little dot that would bounce on the screen, and he would like teach children about Bible verses.
Oh, wonderful!
Like and then there was Davy and Goliath.
Yeah, wonderful.
They were like these claymation cartoons. Those were fun to watch, and I used to watch those before I went to Sunday school on Sunday.
Wonderful.
It was just so fun.
Yeah.
And Jot was just so cool. He was just a little dot with eyeballs.
Fascinating.
Once in a while, his hands and fingers would come out, and he always talked about Christ and God.
Wonderful.
And stuff. And the same with David and Goliath. You know, they would like teach.
Yeah, the Care Bears weren't so overt. It was more Care Bears. I care a lot, but it was to me so beautiful and so religious and deep. It was and the animation was so beautiful. You just cried your eyes out. You know, it's time to cry and get out the crying because it's so gorgeous. It is just, you know, it is. I've never seen movies like that. The series was nice, not as good, but nice. But those two movies were just. Thinking about them brings tears to your eyes.
Well, let me make some acknowledgments and sign off. Just make yourself at home, and I'll shut it down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're on our Space Needle set. This is Season 9, Episode 3. I am Asaph Adonai, and affectionately again, we have our aging rocker. Thanks for joining us to talk about Hanna-Barbera. I hope Hanna-Barbera sees this one day.
Yes.
And Yogi Bear, the Flintstones, and Secret Squirrel, and all the rest of the fun cartoons of the past. So, any final words you want to say?
Yes, there were these 2 washing machines, and they saw a coffee cup they wanted to splash around, and so they were splashing around this coffee cup. Then this one dishwasher came along and said, "Oh, I can't see around that!" Wasn't that hilarious?
You'll make Hanna-Barbera proud.
Yep.
On that note, I am Asaph Adonai, and on behalf of myself and our aging rocker, until our next show, Maranatha. So I'll just quit on that note, and I'll go sign this out, and we can just relax.
Fascinating.